I look in the window to see Casey climbing out of her seat and moving closer to Valerian, who wraps his arms around her.
Move, lady. I need to double-check something.
He snaps at Zoe, who tosses herself in front of the door, blocking him from opening it. Seemingly without thinking, she shoves him, and I gasp. "Get the fuck away from my daughter!" She growls in warning, her eyes turning obsidian, and her canines and claws slip out. The officer growls at her, but she doesn't budge. He goes to grab her, but she slashes his arm with her claws. Furious now, he lunges at her, fumbling for his handcuffs. As he tries to snap them on her wrist, his gun falls from his holster. The officer tosses her against the side of her car, trying to restrain her. Zoe struggles, and I try to grab him to make him let her go. I've never seen anything like it before. Zoe is completely wild and crazed as she continues lashing out, her protective instincts kicking in. A sick feeling grows in the pit of my stomach as I realize I'm watching my worst fear play out before my eyes. Seeing this, I think about how it would feel if someone took Valerian, and the pain hits me in my heart. Just as I'm thinking this, I feel a sharp pain collide with the side of my face. The officer backhands me, tossing me off, and I hit the ground. He looks at me briefly and curses. I feel blood trickle down my lip.
I didn't mean that. Fuck. He'll fucking kill me,
he says, while trying to restrain Zoe. Both kids scream as they watch. Through my haze and headache, I hear a car skid to a stop. I turn to see Macy jump out of her car in a fury before she grips the officer's shirt, ripping him off Zoe, and he stumbles back, shocked. Macy gets between them as I scramble to get to my feet. "There are kids present, officer. Do you really want to scare your granddaughter?" She snaps at him, and he halts his advance toward her.
"So, she is..."
the officer asks, looking in the back window. "Please, please," Zoe begs, dropping to her knees and falling apart in her desperation.
"Answer me."
The officer roars at Zoe and takes a step toward her, but Macy growls, taking a step toward him, too, her claws slipping out. Yes, she's Micah's," Zoe says, looking at him pleadingly. The officer looks between Macy and Zoe before barging past Macy to get to the car. The officer steps forward, and Zoe tries to stop him, but he flings the rear door open and leans in. He reaches for Casey, but she flinches away from him before sniffing the air.
"Come here, sweetheart. Poppy won't hurt you,"
the officer says, holding out his hands to her. Casey looks at her mother, and Zoe's shoulders sag, her face streaked with tears and running mascara. "I swear, you try to take her, I will do everything in my power to stop you, spend every cent we have to fight you for custody if you try to take her from Zoe," I threaten him. The officer looks at me, pulling Casey from the car. I grip his arm. "You take her, I will call my mate. I will call the Blood Alpha." I growl low enough for only him to hear. He stops, glancing at me. I don't want to use his name, but it has the right effect. He instantly pauses.
You won't tell him. I didn't mean to make you."
He glances at my split lip. "That depends. Give her daughter back," I tell him, and Zoe jumps to her feet and reaches for her. However, the officer turns his back on her and sits Casey on the hood of her car.
"Does Micah know about her?"
he asks, looking at Zoe. "Yes, he knows," Zoe tells him, and the officer growls, but turns back to Casey, brushing her hair from her face.
"What's your name, princess?"
he asks her. "Casey?" she whispers shyly, wiping her eyes before glancing at her mother. She reaches for Zoe, and the officer looks at her.
"He never told us. He and his mate are having trouble conceiving,"
the officer states. "That's not my issue, or Casey's. Anna doesn't need to know about her," Zoe tells him. The man nods, looking at Casey and smiling sadly.
"Can I bring my wife Elena to meet her?"
he asks. "Are you going to tell Anna?" That Micah has a daughter? Zoe asks.
No, but I will be saying something to my son. Does he help with her?
He asks. He pays child support, Zoe says, placing Casey back in the car. She buckles her in, and the officer looks over her shoulder, his eyes going to Valerian for a second. He's mine, I tell the officer when I see him looking at Valerian curiously.
Does Valen know?
He suddenly asks, and I swallow. Valerian looks at me questioningly. No, he doesn't.
He has his eyes. The resemblance is uncanny,
The officer remarks, and I look away. I'll let your wife meet Casey, but only if you don't say anything to Alphanovel about Valerian. Let Everly tell him when she's ready, Zoe says quickly. The officer thinks for a second, looking in at Casey and waving to her.
You will tell him. I know his father's been putting pressure on him to marry and give him an heir, even lined up an arranged marriage with Alpha John's daughter, Ava.
The officer shakes his head. What? I ask, trying not to let my tone sound as surprised as I feel. The officer shrugs.
That's the rumor going around the city. Valen said no, but if he doesn't show he has an heir soon, his father will cause trouble. You're best off telling him before his father finds out about your son. I won't take Casey from her mother, but Kalen will take your boy if he finds out about him, especially if he finds out you're a rogue before Valen marks you. Reputation is everything to Kalen.
The officer states. And don't I know it? Alpha Kalen ruined his own mate, all because she was an Omega. He isn't Valen's, I quickly state. It's clear the officer knows I'm Valen's mate, but I can deny Valerian being his son. The officer snorts and laughs while shaking his head.
His eyes are a dead giveaway. Also, his little alpha aura. Can already feel it. So I bet you can too. He's definitely an alpha in the making. No need to lie to me. Alpha Valen told me you were his mate, but he never mentioned a son. His resemblance and aura will give the boy away to anyone paying close enough attention to him, Everly. I suggest you tell Valen soon. I would hate for you to lose your son.
The officer says, closing the rear door. I can see the questions burning through Valerian's gaze as he listens.
You have a week. After that, I'll have no choice but to tell him. I'm sorry. Also, I kind of need to give you a ticket again for something. Valen will ask questions if he doesn't see multiple tickets. He told me to harass you and your friends. Don't worry, I won't lodge them, but I need it for appearance's sake. Unless you try and stop me seeing my granddaughter. My wife will be so excited.
He gushes, beaming happily at Casey, who waves to him. You can see her, but Anna must not know, Zoe says.
Never liked her much. Snobby piece of work that woman is. Can I bring my wife by over the weekend? You ladies work at the Mountain View Hotel.
We own it, I tell him, and his mouth opens in disbelief.
But you're rogues.
And that doesn't make us any less capable, I tell him.
I guess not,
The officer says, looking at us all in shock. When I feel relieved that the officer didn't take Casey, I can't help the sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. I'm worried that too many people know my secret. I know it's only a matter of time before Valen finds out. With the city being a gossip mill, it's inevitable. No secret stays buried forever, and I can see this as one of those secrets that will eventually come out. The officer picks up his gun and puts it back in his holster before glancing at me.
You won't tell your mate about...
He points to my lip. It can stay between us, as long as you stick to your word and don't try to take Casey. Everyone knows not to cross the blood alpha. I have a feeling he won't take too kindly to anyone that hurt his mate. He nods, glancing at the car.
I'll see you on the weekend, Zoe,
he says, inclining his head to Zoe, who nods before climbing back in her car. I've been trying to avoid the conversation all night, but Valerian has followed me around the hotel like a bad smell, and as we head to the apartment, I have no choice but to face the pint-sized alpha. I never thought I would fear my son, but his aura is in full force. All afternoon, people had been glancing at him as he trailed after me while I worked. I could see their curiosity. There's no way I could deny what he is, that he's an alpha child. Even Zoe has been wary around him, and as soon as we finished for the day, she practically bolted to bathe Casey, leaving me with my fuming son. Valerian slams the door loudly as he walks in after me. I'm not used to him acting out of anger. He never even threw tantrums as a baby. At least he held his tongue while I finished work. When I'm finally home, I take my shoes off to rest a bit, but there's no hiding from his ever-present gaze. The officer had said too much in front of him. "You lied to me," Valerian states as I flick on the kettle. I grab 2 mugs down from the cupboard, intending to make him hot chocolate, but he smacks my hands as I go to set the mugs on the counter. The glass shatters on the ground at my feet. I press my lips together at his acting out. I know he's mad, but there's no need for that. "Enough!" I snap at him, and he glares at me. "You lied!" he says, before growling, which startles me. "I did not lie. I just didn't tell you the whole truth." "You said my father wasn't your mate. You said he didn't live in this city," he accuses. "I never said that. You just assumed he didn't live here, and I simply let you believe you were correct." "I hate you," Valerian snarls at me, tears burning his eyes. His words twist my stomach painfully, and I'm hit with waves of guilt. "Valerian, you don't understand. It isn't safe for you to know him." I try to explain. "Why? I hate that everyone says you're a rogue whore, that everyone treats us differently. I see the way people look at you because we aren't part of a pack, because you don't have a mate," Valerian says. "We don't need him. I don't need him. We do fine on our own," I try to tell him, while trying to put a comforting hand on his shoulder. "You may not want him as a mate, but I want my dad. I don't want to be the rogue whore's son. I don't want to be treated the way everyone treats you. I want my dad," Valerian cries. Pain radiates through my chest at his words. The rogue whore's son. He hates how people see me, see him, and that realization hurts more than anything else he said. It was one thing for an adult to be embarrassed, but for him to be embarrassed for who people think I am. For the first time in a long time, I'm ashamed of the title bestowed on me. I rub a hand down my face, trying to find a way to explain. "Well, you can't have him. Does he know about me?" Valerian cuts me off, and I look at him. His bottom lip quivers, and a tear escapes, rolling down his cheek. I reach for him again, but he steps away from me. "Does my dad know I exist?" he asks again. "As I said, Valerian, it isn't safe." "For you or for me?" he demands. This boy is so much more intelligent than I give him credit for, more observant than I even realized. He's far more advanced than he should be for a child of his age. "He doesn't, does he? Was everything you said a lie? What about your family?" I sigh. "My family tossed me away when they found out I was pregnant with you. They threw me away because I was a rogue whore." "But the officer, he said this Valen was your mate, that I looked like him." Of all the times Valen could mess with me, why did it have to be when my son was present to witness? "Alphanovel is your father. He's also my mate," I admit to him. "Then why isn't it safe? He has a pack. We could be a real family." "We are a real family, Valerian. We don't need him to be a real family. We have Zoe and Macy and everyone here," I explain. "It's not the same," he protests. "It is. How do you know it would be different?" "It's not the same!" he screams at me. "Sometimes family isn't what you expect it to be, Valerian. My family doesn't want me. They don't want you. You have people here that are family to us. They want us. And my father? Would he want me if he knew about me? Does he want you?" I drop my head, and my shoulders sag. "It's not safe." "Why?" Valerian screams, his face turning red. "Because he will take you from me," I yell back at him just as Zoe comes out. "Everly?" Zoe asks before pointing at the door. 5 long marks have been gouged deep into the wood. Valerian is looking at me with fear in his eyes for the first time. Startled by his fearful expression, I look down to see my claws have slipped out. Zoe tugs Valerian away from me, and he lets her comfort him, something I should be doing, not her. "Go, run it off, Everly," Zoe says, and Valerian rushes off to his room. "Valerian!" I call after him, but Zoe grips both my arms. "Go, calm down. You can talk to Valerian tomorrow, when everyone is more level-headed."
Valen. Officer Richards called just as I was sitting down for dinner. I smile when I see the phone ring, wondering how long it will take before I receive an angry call from Everly, complaining about officers harassing her and her friends. "Richards," I answer. "Alpha, I did what you asked, but no more. I can't do it tomorrow." "And why is that?" "Well, for one, she threatened me with you, for starters, and secondly, I don't want to ruin my chances with Zoe." "What do you mean, ruin your chances with Zoe?" Turns out my son has a daughter. Zoe agreed to let me bring Elena to meet her." "Wait, Micah has a daughter?" I ask, perplexed. "Yes, Zoe's child is my granddaughter. I met her today when I pulled her over." I sigh. No doubt Micah has some explaining to do, and Micah would want to do the right thing by Zoe and her kid. "That's fine, Richards. You've done enough," I tell him. "Thank you, Alpha. I can send you the tickets if you like." "No, it's fine. I trust you," I tell Officer Richards before hanging up. I barely placed my phone down when it rings in my hand again, and I see my father's face pop up on the screen. Marcus is across the table from me, quietly stewing over his car, and I hand him the phone. He glances at it and grits his teeth before rolling his eyes and answering it. "Alpha Kalen," he answers in a bored tone. I hear my father ask where I am before Marcus answers. "He's taken a shit, ate something, and has been running back and forth from the toilet all night." I grit my teeth and glare at him from across the table, and he smiles. "Yep, has a severe case of runny ass. Crapped his pants in the elevator, too. Shit explosion." My fists clench and Marcus smirks at me, knowing if I speak, he'll have to put me on the phone. I'll be sure to tell him. "Night, Alpha." Marcus hangs up the phone and I growl at him. "Was that fucking necessary?" I snap at him. "Answer your own damn phone then," he retorts. "Oh, and your father recommends Imodium. Apparently you can get it from a pharmacy," he taunts. "What did he want?" "He wanted to know if you made up your mind about Ava." Marcus shrugs before cutting into his steak. "I'm not marrying that woman. I want nothing to do with Alpha John, and the fact my father meddled still pisses me off. Me rejecting her will undoubtedly cause a war between packs, but I refuse to marry that girl." "Richards?" he asks. I shrug. "He said he won't help anymore." "So that's it? She gets away with wrecking my car?" "She didn't wreck your car. Besides, I'm planning on heading over there tomorrow. You can come if you want." I smile and his eyes light up. Marcus has been begging me to take him there all day so he can give her a piece of his mind. About time I get to meet this woman that has you swooning and begging at her feet. Plus I want to meet the woman who trashed my car and thinks she can get away with it, he adds. I roll my eyes at his dramatics. "Oh, she can get away with it. She's my mate." "If you expect me not to say something to her, you are sadly mistaken. She crossed the wrong beta." "You do realize you are her beta too, right?" "Only once you mark her." "Be nice," I tell him, digging into my dinner. I can't help but feel the excitement bubble up within me, knowing I'll be going to see her tomorrow. "What do you plan on doing about your father?" Marcus asks me. "Maybe tell him you found your mate," he offers, and I nod. "Yeah, I don't think I have a choice now, I tell him honestly, and he hums in agreement. It's best we sort this feud out before it becomes an all-out war. All I know is I can't wait to meet her. If she has you this worked up, I bet she's a real crazy one in person. He laughs. I glare at him and he shrugs. Well, she must be crazy. Who rejects an alpha, especially a rogue woman, he says. Any luck on her last name, I ask. No, not really. I did find a Summers, however, but it was a maiden name. Are you going to leave me in suspense or tell me? Maybe that's how she became rogue. Maybe she divorced someone. Doubtful. Plus, I doubt there's any relation because I can't see the alpha shunning a family member. There are no alphas with the last name Summers, I tell him, confused on what he's getting at. No, not an alpha, but a Luna. Summers is the maiden name of Alpha John's wife, Claire Summers. Marcus tells me. I sigh. Another dead end. However, something bothers me. There was something Ava had said to her father before he cut her off, but I'm sure it was a coincidence. If Alpha John had another child, we would know about her by now. Just look at Ava. She was a huge handful for him. If he had another child, he wouldn't be allowing the wayward one to be his successor, surely.
I came home from my run to find Valerian sitting at the dining room table, trying to use my laptop. My mood is lifted now I've gone for a run, but I'm exhausted as I untie my laces and slip my shoes off. The run really zapped my energy, and I had to take the long way around because someone fixed the hole in the fence. Tomorrow I'll have to send someone to open it up again, or maybe install a gate, which would be ideal because we can lock it off at night. Zoe's watching TV with the volume low, barely audible. She smiles at me and gives me a nod, turning back to the TV and pretending to be watching it when I know she's just keeping an eye on Valerian. Valerian looks up at me. His cheek is red from resting it on his hand while he tries to use the laptop. Walking over to him, I run my fingers through his hair before bending down and kissing his forehead. "What are you trying to do?" I ask him, glancing at the computer screen before standing and pulling out the chair beside him. He lets out a breath before looking at me. "I want to know who my dad is, why he left us, but I don't know his last name, and Auntie Zoe said to wait for you," he says. I can tell he's been crying. His eyes are all puffy and red, and he sniffles before plucking a tissue from the tissue box and blowing his nose. He folds his damp tissue into a perfectly neat square before getting up, placing it in the bin, and washing his hands. I turn the laptop toward me before typing Alpha Valen Solace. Images and news articles pop up. Valerian takes his seat next to me and looks at the screen before looking over at me, and I gesture toward the laptop. "That's your father," I tell him. He turns back to look at the screen. "We have the same eyes," he says, looking at me. His own amber eyes peer up at me, lashes wet from crying. I nod sadly at him. "Yes, you have his eyes. It's a genetic trait on the male side," I tell him, and he glances back at the pictures of his father on the screen. "When I got pregnant with you, I didn't know your father was my mate. We met at an alpha meeting, and we were both drinking. So you kissed, and I was created?" I chuckle at his words, and so does Zoe behind me. "Yep, that pretty much sums it up," I tell him. "So if you didn't know he was your mate, how did we end up a rogue?" "Because my father kicked me out. Because he thought I was a rogue whore, and I refused to terminate the pregnancy. I chose to keep you," I tell him honestly. "So I'm the reason you're a rogue?" "No, I am. Me being a rogue is not your fault, and I would choose you every time. If I could go back, I would still choose you. You're my life." He pauses, seeming to think, his face scrunched up in concentration. I cup his chin, brushing my thumb over his cheek. "Why were you at an alpha meeting?" "Because I used to be an alpha. I was next in line to take over my father's pack." He looks even more confused. So did you only just find out my dad was your mate? I sigh, before rubbing my eyes and shaking my head. I've known for a while. When I first found out I was pregnant, I tried to tell your father, and he didn't believe me. I saw him again a couple of years later, but your dad was a bit tired and had too much to drink, so he didn't recognize me. He was confused, and I think he thought I broke into his house, so he kicked me off his territory. I tell him. So you never had a chance to tell him? How long ago? Nearly 4 years ago now, when you were just a baby. So you've known all that time? But I heard Auntie Macy say that Grandma Val died from not being with her mate, that not having your mate can kill you. I bite my lip. You shouldn't listen to adult conversation, sweetie. But is it true? Did she die because her mate didn't want her? I nod sadly, looking away. But it won't happen to me. I have you to live for. I won't die, Valerian. I have too much to live for, you being the biggest. I tell him, and he nods, looking at the screen. He clicks on some photos, making them larger so we can see his father's features better, and the pictures are clearer. Am I like him? You are so much better than he will ever be. So, he's a bad man? No, I don't think so. Well, I don't think it's intentional. I think he's just perceived that way, kind of like how I'm perceived to have done something wrong. People believe things about people that may not be true. It's not fair, but it happens sometimes. I've seen him on the news fighting, and I saw him in the papers. I thought something was strange about him. I always felt funny when I saw his picture, but I didn't realize he was my dad. Valerian says, We recognize our own family. It's built into us to recognize family. So he would know I was his son just by seeing me? Yes, and that's why I can't let you meet him, I tell him. Because he'll take me from you? He asks, and I nod. Valerian seems to think for a second as he stares at the screen, scrutinizing the picture of his father out in front of the hotel he owns. I can print his picture off for you if you want. He looks over at me and smiles sadly. That's okay. I think I'll go to bed now, he says, getting up and taking the laptop with him. He kisses my cheek before looking at Zoe on the couch. Night, Auntie Zoe. Good night, sweetie, she replies, and I watch him leave. I'm sorry. He asked for the laptop, she says once he leaves. It's fine, Zoe. I should have just told him. It's the middle of the day. Valerian is at school, and we're in the middle of the lunch rush when the entire restaurant falls silent. Glancing up from the front counter, I groan internally when Alphanovel walks into the restaurant. A smirk crosses his lips as he approaches me. Zoe notices him and rolls her eyes before coming over to me. I'll go check the meat delivery has arrived. Seeing as the Alpha Dick is here, we don't need any more unexpected disturbances or missing truck interferences, she says, glaring at him before walking away. Valen approaches the counter, and I can feel everyone watching us curiously when he leans on the counter, acting like he owns the place.
Heard you had an eventful day yesterday with Officer Richards.
He chuckles. Yes, thanks to you, and you can pay for Zoe and Macy's fines. I snap at him.
I'm sure if you go down to the office and explain I'm your mate, the fines will be dropped,
he says, and I roll my eyes at him. Of course they will be. I spit at him. He laughs.
You already knew that, though, didn't you? Officer Richards told me something very interesting last night,
he says, and my stomach drops. Richards said he wouldn't tell Valen about Valerian, at least not yet.
Seems I am your mate when it benefits you.
Huh?
You didn't happen to threaten Officer Richards by using my title?
He smiles, and I glare at him before his words register. Because I had done that. Heat rushes over my face. Lapse in judgment, I tell him.
Oh, I don't mind. But if you want to use my title, I would rather it be because we share it. and not just you throwing it around when you want to get out of trouble.
I'm sorry, I won't do it again, but I wasn't going to stand by and watch him take Casey from Zoe.
He wouldn't have. He's a good man.
I roll my eyes at him and turn away, only for him to grip my wrist and turn me back to face him.
Don't walk away from me, Everly. Are you trying to upset me?
I don't get a chance to answer before the restaurant door opens again. My stomach feels like it just dropped onto the floor as Beta Marcus walks in. He has his head down and is stuffing a set of keys into his back pocket, but it's definitely him.
Had to park in the parents with strollers parking. No parking.
His words abruptly cut off when he looks up and stares directly at me. Shock crosses his features, and his eyes go wide. Then he tilts his head to the side. I pray he forgot me, but his following words prove he remembers exactly who I am. Beta Marcus's face lights up, and a smile splits his face as he begins walking over to us.
I knew I heard that name before. Everly, it's me. You remember me? It's been so long. I sometimes wondered what happened to you. I thought you left the city,
he says, rushing over and enveloping me in a hug. Alphanovel seems startled and pulls away, observing us closely. You must be mistaken, I try to tell him, trying to get out of his firm grip when he sets me on my feet and holds me at arm's length. I feel my heart thumping into my chest, all feeling gone from my body.
No, I never forget a face. A name, yes, but a face? You really don't remember me. The train station? You asked to borrow a lighter, and then I took you to the pack house.
I say nothing, trying to escape him and Valen, who is observing the scene playing out in front of him with a look of confusion on his face.
We looked for you, but couldn't find you. I even left a note with the security guards. Gosh, I can't believe it's really you.
Beta Marcus says.
Wait, you two know each other?
Valen asks suddenly, and we look at him. I quickly shake my head. My heart is pounding in my chest, and I feel like I'm about to pass out.
Yes, she's the rogue girl, the one from the train station. Remember we went looking for her?
Marcus briefly explains before turning back to me.
So, where did you go? Have you been here all this time? You work here? Oh, and your son, what was his name? Valcom. Gosh, your son has the freakiest eyes, like yours.
He says, gesturing to Valen before continuing excitedly.
The only person I've seen with the same eyes other than your father. So, where is he?
He asks, looking around, utterly oblivious to my state of panic.
Everly isn't a rogue whore. She hasn't got a son,
Valen says, and Marcus looks at him, then groans, holding his hands out.
How do you not remember? I bitched you out for days about tossing her and her kid out. And what train station? I'm lost. What's going on here?
Valen demands, looking between both of us. Marcus sighs.
Everly, the rogue girl you chucked out of the pack house, remember? Years ago, we went looking for her at the train station. We left her car seat with the train guards, remember?
Marcus says. I just want him to shut his mouth. At this point in the conversation, we have the entire restaurant's attention, and Valen is staring at me like it's the first time he's met me.
You were at the pack house,
Valen asks, shaking his head. He seems confused for a moment, before his head suddenly snaps up, and a look of anger crosses his features. His top lip pulls over his teeth as he snarls at me, his eyes narrowed.
Wait, you have a son? You lied to me?
I didn't lie.
You have a fucking son,
he growls, and Marcus steps between us.
Whoa, Alpha, what's got into you? She lied,
Valen snaps, pointing an accusing finger at me.
My fucking mate said she wasn't a rogue whore. She fucking lied. Wait, this is the Everly you were speaking about? This girl, right here, she's your mate?
Marcus says while looking back at me. Bravo, idiot. You finally put it together.
Yes, she is my mate.
Please keep your voices down. I hiss at them when I hear people start murmuring that Alphanovel has found his mate.
Is this some joke to you? Do you really have no morals, just like the rest of the rogue whores? You think I can just accept some illegitimate child? Fuck, the press will have a field day with this scandal.
I never expected you to accept anything. Now get out! I spit at him, unable to take his insults. How dare he? He just assumed, like the rest of them. He isn't even going to let me explain. Just jumped straight onto the rogue whore bandwagon.
I won't have a rogue whore as a mate.
He spits at me.
Valen!
Marcus snaps at him.
No, she fucking lied to me.
I never lied to you. You were just too blind to see the truth. You don't even remember me. Now get out of my restaurant.
I was drunk. How was I supposed to remember you from the pack house? I can barely remember that night at all.
He snarls. You think that's the first time we met? Got no other memories you want to sift through, Valen? I tried to tell you twice before that, I say, anger rising in my chest.
What are you talking about?
I tried to tell you, and you tossed me away not once, but twice. Threw me out in the fucking rain. You are no better than your father. No better than mine. I snap at him.
Don't bring my father into this. What is wrong with you? You knew who I was all this fucking time? All this time. You knew I was your mate?
Yes, I knew. And if you still can't figure it out, then go. Leave. I won't have you upset my employees with your prejudices.
Oh, I'm leaving. You are exactly like the rest of them. Nothing but a whore. And to think I was willing to look past you being a lowly rogue. But I won't put up with you lying to me.
He screams before punching the counter. I jump at his aggression, and a few patrons duck down like they're waiting for him to explode. A few even hide under the tables when he suddenly turns on his heel and walks out, leaving me with Beta Marcus.
I didn't think. Fuck, I'm sorry, Everly. I'll speak to him.
Marcus stumbles over his words, looking in the direction of where his Alpha just stalked off and out the door. It's fine. Nothing I didn't already expect from a Solace Alpha. Clearly the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I tell him, turning and walking off to my office. Tears prick my eyes. I can't believe how terribly wrong that all just went. I feel livid, but also hurt. If I was a rogue whore, Valen wouldn't accept me. The funny thing is, even after everything he just learned, Valen never asked who Valerian's father is. Didn't seem to get it through his head that for years I had known who he was and lived through the torment of not having my mate. But all he could hear was rogue whore, blind to everything else, blinded by his own perception and judgment. Escaping to my office, I lock the door and will myself not to break down, when my cell phone suddenly starts ringing in my pocket. I half expect it to be Valen calling to yell at me more. It's not. The school's phone number lights up the screen. As I hit answer, I clear my throat and suck in a deep breath. Hello? Hi, this is Patricia, Valerian's teacher. Is this Everly Summers? Yes, Patricia. How can I help you? Ms. Summers, I was calling to let you know we've called the police, and an Amber Alert has been put out. My heart beats faster, thumping in my head, when suddenly someone starts banging on the door. I jump up to open it, and Macy rushes in with a frantic look on her face. Ms. Summer, your son. He never returned to class after recess. Now, we do have people out searching for him, but if you could come down to the school and... The phone drops from my hand.